This week on Stubborn Grit.
His wife and he are building a house together. Sweat equity. It's like a marriage workshop. Build the dream. How hard can it be? How long will it take? They don't have a clue. They're doing it themselves. Ignorance is bliss. Will they survive? Will their teenagers thrive? What's wrong with you people? Are they crazy? Maybe. Dream big. Don't quit. Stubborn Grit.
Early morning coffee, crisp air, not a lot of sleep last night, but we're excited and some might say giddy. We're running around on adrenaline and caffeine. Got to get this concrete placed and strong enough before any freezing weather. I drove the route to the build site and realized I needed to trim several tree branches along the way, so I grabbed the pole saw with an extension and got up on my tiptoes to clear the way. Even the family grocery getter is being put to use. And the pump truck is the first to arrive. We're still feeling a bit overwhelmed, but hopeful our forms will work. The crew sets up the laser and grabs a reference elevation off the forms as we remove the leaves and spray WD-40 on the tops of the J-bolts. The articulating boom swings around to ensure full coverage. My wife is measuring and painting green marks for where our J-bolts will go. This concrete crew is working our little job between the big commercial jobs. Almost impossible to get them earlier in the year. Concrete is an art and science, a delicate dance between time and weather. One misstep and you're chasing cracks. And the first concrete truck arrives. Concrete can burn your skin, so the crew suits up with boots and long sleeves. Now we're placing concrete. They're pouring the perimeter footing first, which is fairly common, but we're concerned about potential cold joints, especially with fast setting concrete. So my phone started recording while I was running around. Visually, it's a bit surreal. Reminds me how we were feeling with so little sleep, discombobulated, but happy to be here. There's our bridge we built to keep us from falling in, and the power screed is ready to go. Sleep deprivation and using your own money definitely amps up the anxiety. I do have trust issues, so I had to dig deep and remind myself that this was a highly recommended concrete plant, contractor, and crew. So the second concrete truck is finished and washing out, and we're waiting on the next one to arrive. Meanwhile, the concrete is setting up fast. There's one of our post brackets that will be wet set between the two J-bolt holders. The foreman will tell us when to place the brackets. Too early and they sink in, too late and they won't go in at all. After unloading, the concrete trucks need to wash out as soon as possible. They often use the water they carry on their truck or back at the plant, or in our case, we also have a water hose available. I'm rehearsing again how to wet set the brackets and check everything with our magnetic torpedo level. And we're back to placing concrete. The crew is transferring the finished floor elevation onto the concrete surface, leveling the surface to match, from the top of the forms out to the elevation mark, 12 foot away. The mix is looking stiff here in the back corner of the foundation. The crew is hammering the outside of the form boards to help consolidate the concrete against the forms. third concrete truck is headed out. The crew is floating the slab. Check the finished floor height with the laser. Solid beep matches our form height. You can see the bleed water on top, the shiny shimmering surface. That will be gone before troweling. Now we're waiting on the fourth concrete truck. I set my phone timer when the first concrete was placed to make sure I checked in with the foreman on when to start wet setting the brackets. Concrete crews appreciate a higher slump. It's more fluid, easier to place and finish. It's not uncommon to request more water mixed in from the truck, but too much water weakens the concrete. Our concrete plant included a superplastizer in the mix, which provides the higher slump, but it eventually wears off. Our concrete is being delivered in 10-yard trucks with front-facing discharge chutes. Best to grab the ticket from each driver. A lot of details included, like the specific concrete mix, additives, how much water was added by the delivery truck. Our concrete mix is a 3-day early set 5,000 psi with fiber. The foreman says we're good to go on placing the brackets. We just need to get it plumb, level, and 1.5 inches in from the forms. Our daughter runs to turn on the water for the trucks to wash out. All the previous trucks must have washed out with their onboard water or back at the plant. So the concrete has been placed and we're wet setting the remaining perimeter post brackets and any J-bolts that we didn't suspend from the forms. The crew starts to clean up and hand trowels the perimeter.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay. Blue skies.
It's been a beautiful day for concrete. We're now waiting to start finishing the surface. The best time is after the initial bleed water is gone and the surface is firm enough to walk on without leaving footprints deeper than say 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch. And it's showtime. Need to get this finished ASAP. Again, fibers were added to the concrete mix. They can be seen all over the place. I'm testing the surface to confirm a depth of a 1/4 inch or less. If it went much deeper, it might be better to wait a bit. I'm getting the burlap unrolled and rinsed off. I've read that the dyes can sometimes stain the concrete. When a crew is sprinkling water on the concrete during finishing, it's likely because the trowel blades are dragging or sticking. They're trying to keep the surface workable. We're going to wet cure the concrete, keeping it wet with a hose for now, but eventually we'll be covering it with all this wet burlap. We're lightly misting the surface. Too much force, like if you used a pressure washer, can wash away the cream, revealing the rocks below. We don't want the concrete to dry out while we're gone, so we will use soaker hoses on top of our burlap. Now we've covered everything with the burlap, continuing to spray it down. Before it gets dark, we'll be sure to add soaker hoses. Running out all night to check on our concrete, the curing process stops without water. So yeah, just babysitting our foundation, walking around barefoot to feel the slab for dampness and warmth.
Alright, so this is like 2 days without sleep for me. We're up to about the same time it is right now, 11:30, just trying to get all the rebar tied in and sledgehammers put in. I can't even talk clearly. It took all that time to get everything done. But I was trying to figure out this wet cure thing. The grade beam footings, the grade beams, they all feel warm, which means they're still cooking. That's good. The early set will get us hardened up sooner before the temperatures start to drop too much. Should get enough strength in 3 days. We will see. So this is practically ponding. But we're gonna have to watch the temperature because you don't want water curing that's below 41 degrees.
Anyway, despite the challenges, we're thrilled to finally have concrete placed and to be moving in a new direction. Up.